All right, I'm back at Oak Goat, and here today to talk about Project Lab Coat. Now, the only stock MVP disc I have is the Inertia, and you can kind of see this is kind of what it looks like. I admit that this wasn't a great design. Now, apparently, this meant something, and so these symbols showed that it was a 9.5 -22. Now, what I have today from Project Lab Coat is a servo, and so you can see the white rim and the fresh, clean stamp. Now, the servo I had before was from the Circuit Challenge, so a unique stamp. I know some people don't like it. I kind of like it, but the big difference that we're going to look at is the rims being white and black, and then also, does it fly different? Okay, so the big argument and the alleged reason that Simon Lizotte was a proponent of Project Lab Coat was for on-screen viewing. Now, I've mentioned how much I don't love the white because this is probably never going to be white again. This rim is probably going to be brown after today, or at least got brown streaks through it and stains that I won't be able to get out. That seems to always happen with white discs and white plastic. And that was something about the black that even if you got some mud on it, it doesn't look as bad. It doesn't look as dirty. But here we go. This will be the first for me, my channel, the on-screen test of Project Lab Coat. We have the old version of the servo with the black rim. All right, let's compare the visibility of that versus Project Lab Coat. These two discs ended up on the exact same plane, just about 15, 18 feet apart from each other, left to right. Neither one was actually ahead of the other one. And we'll be able to tell better once I get home and I color grade and I'm looking on a computer screen as to how much visibility these are different from each other. From this test, this was slightly more visible. I mean, you could see the white rim, you can see the black rim, but you can see the orange around the black rim. So I was still seeing it, but this was, yes, more visible. All right, Editor Jared here. Now the difference between the white and the black rims ends up being negligible when I come back and look at it on the computer. And I think the big thing is more of the, what is the color of the base plastic? I mean, I throw orange discs, so that does help a bit. I'm sure if I was throwing something dark, like a dark blue, or maybe even a dark red, dark green, the white is going to make a significant difference over the black. So it might be interesting to do another test in the future with some people where I am using their disc, because I don't want to buy a non-orange disc, but using one of their discs that's a darker base plastic versus a brighter base plastic with a black rim. For someone who cares about the color of his discs, the black or white rim doesn't affect the on-screen viewing as much because I like to have a bright disc already. I mean, I threw those differently, but the promise of Project Lab Coat, that the Lab Coat project would not change the flight, that the aesthetic changes would not change the physical abilities and styles of the disc, seem to be following through. So yeah, most of the discs I have from MVP, I have this one that's, you can see a stock stamp underneath the factory misprint logo. It's misprinted is why, but most of what I have is Lab Second stamps, except for my pixels. Or what I have a lot of, and not here, is a lot of the Tour Series or Special Series things, like the Circuit Challenge discs. Now, I'm sure there's people who are going to be like, "Oh, Jared, you're being pedantic. You're caring too much about little things that don't matter." You know, so I missed a couple shots that I filmed, I thought at least, but I seem to have lost. But I threw a few times into some muddy ground, and first off, the white just looks muddier. And second off, it, like when you wipe off the disc, there's more, you can more easily see the dirt on the white than the black, which is a complaint that I've had for a while. And it's something that I noted right at the beginning. And yeah, I don't love that. Now, when I cleaned it off with soap and water,
I cleaned off the black and the white rims, and the white rim only has a little bit, and like you don't really notice it super well when you look for it. But the black one I've also been playing with for, it's a few years old now, and I've thrown that disc a lot, and it's gotten really muddy and all these things. And so it's kind of like, to me, almost apples and oranges of the black disc. Of course you're gonna see more mud stains and more scars and stuff, because there's scratches and there's dirt inside the scratches that it's harder to get out. And if I took a brush, I'm sure I could get it clean. Whereas the white one is still pretty fresh plastic. It's still pretty clean. And yeah, it might seem a little pedantic, but the thing is, that's after one day, and there's a stain that I can't get off with soap and water. And it's not super visible yet because it's the first one, and I cleaned it off pretty quickly, considering. But at the same time, that's still enough. That is what I've been complaining about, and what I don't like about white rims. One of the things I really wish that MVP would just say, you know what, we're gonna get rid of the differentiation between MVP and Axiom with the looks, with the aesthetics, and allow both to have the colored rims, because that's what people want. And have some black, have some white with all of the discs. I don't think that differentiation should really be there, because the discs, it's the same company. For all intents and purposes, it's the exact same company. The discs are the same technology, and the dual color is the coolest thing, and that's why so many people lean towards the Axiom discs. And when you're not using the Axiom discs, it's because of things like, for me, the inertia, or for a lot of people, the trail, where it's like that disc is so good that I'm going to use it despite not having a colored rim, because the inertia and the insanity are not the same thing. And for me, the inertia flies so well, I'm going to have it in my bag. And for some people, including me, the trail is so good, I'm going to have it in my bag, despite the fact that it only comes in black, and now it'll be white. And for me, I'm going to hold on to my black rims as long as possible. If you're going to have a rim that doesn't have color, that's just black or white, I'm going to choose black. But that's my opinion. So yeah, what did you guys think looking side by side at the discs? Do you notice the difference of the white versus the black and be like, oh, it's so much better? Or are you like me, where you think that the flight plate makes the biggest difference for on camera, that you don't think you need a white rim, but the black is fine? Let me know in the comments.